Okay, hello. To whom it concerns, it's going to concern a lot of people actually, so I can't even name them all. What you're looking at there is a fly strip. What's the date? June 21st, 2018, and the time is 2:13 in the afternoon, as you can tell by the sun. So, why do I have fly strips here and there? Well, there's a lot of flies. Why? Do you see any garbage? No, that's garbage for fly strips. Okay, I can't even keep my recycling here, and we'll get to all of this. This is going to be a long video. Okay, where to begin? Okay, how about we start with something positive? I bought this 10-watt solar panel for $156. It's highly portable. And then I bought this battery that charges my phone like 5 times or something. So I don't need to use electricity. This is 100 watts. I just simply haven't got around to figuring out what to do, because there's so many cords and I just got to figure it out. And then, these are the tools that I've had to buy, which is fine because I'll have them forever because of all the things I'm about to tell you. Oh yeah, okay, I've already planned this out. Okay, here we go. Oh, my name is Andrew Walsh, by the way. I live at 7683 Ontario Street, 61st Avenue is the cross. And, yeah, Vancouver, BC, okay? So I'm a resident and a citizen of Canada. I just convocated from SFU last week, last Friday. What day is it? Thursday. Okay, it's Thursday. So I need these ant traps because there are a lot of ants, and that will play out naturally. So what else are we doing over here? Okay, so let's start in a chronological order of some kind. Okay, this house that's under construction has been under construction for roughly 20 months, but you have all of the records, the city of Vancouver, so you'll know the exact date you broke ground. Roughly 3 months after our house was started, this house was started, something like that, maybe 4 months. Our house has been completed since we moved in September 2016. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. And then that house on the corner, which is a smart home, which uses like zero energy, I believe, was built, I don't know, they were quick. 4 months or 5 or 6 tops. It was really fast. So you still got that there. And then, can you see, hold on, I'm just going to try to, okay, can you see across to the right? Okay, hold on, I'll try to zoom in for you. And I can totally do that. Okay, that home there, if you can see, there you go, now it's focused. That home there was also started, like, I don't know, not that long ago, and it's done. It just needs to probably final occupancy. So what is going on here? Oh, many things. Okay, so we have a coach house, as you can see. Sorry, it's a little close. Oh, I got to zoom out again. Sorry, my camera skills are getting better. So we got a coach house. So I've learned a lot about city policy through all the things that I'm about to explain to you. So you need final occupancy permits to move in, of course, right? That's a good law. I like that law. Okay, so you get a city inspector who comes around and he checks stuff to make sure it's safe. So I assume the gas and the boiler would be a concern. But what about the sewer sump? Don't you think that's worth a look? For sure. Because the negligence of our contractor, who has still not finished multiple things and deficiencies on both this home and the coach house, I don't think we have a final permit yet. We don't, because, oh my God. So anyways, I'll try to be concise, but there's a lot to get through. You can hear by my voice I've been talking about this for like several months, and Fisherman's Friends are helping. So, yeah, there was literally no pump put in the sewer sump for the coach house. So then over time, she moved in I don't know, summer of last year. Okay, yes, she just signed a new lease. So 1 year ago, whoa, see, there's yellow jackets. We'll get to those. Oh, God. Okay, sorry, but it's a little exasperating. As you can see, there's a pump here, so one thing at a time. Okay, deep breaths. All right, so there was no literal pump in there. Of course, there's everything that could have put a pump in there. So the contractor was negligent because they should have put it in, right? But then the city was also negligent because if you're going to check, I know you can't check everything, but you got to check something that could be a potential biohazard. No? And then we'll get to the biohazard in a minute. So what happened was roughly a year ago, because she literally resigned like 2 days ago, right? So yeah, what month is it? June? Yeah, exactly. She moved in June of last year, probably at the beginning of the month or whatever, or the end. I'm not sure. Regardless, we can find that out. We have all the documentation. And this is some more documentation for you. So, they go to the bathroom like every human being needs to, okay? Because we're humans and we're animals. You go to the bathroom. And we have a very advanced septic system because we're smart, okay? So, but what happens if you just keep filling up a culvern with shit? Okay? Ah, you know the answer. It bursts. Well, it didn't come through there because that's hard to burst. But it did come up. And we have pictures of this somewhere. I'll get them to you. But this is, so you can see the grass here has died, right? See, that used to be like a small plant of some kind. I took it out a couple days ago. You can even see the bevel there, perhaps where it was. It died. All of this that I'm showing you with the camera right now, all of this sunned area was a pool of human excrement. And then that's nothing. But also over here, there's little pools. So that means that because the pressure of the sewage could not bust that huge thing that's probably unbustable for a good reason, because then it would just be like, Jesus. Okay, so that means all under here, the ground is saturated with, feces and urine and, whatever else was flushed down the toilet, depending on what was going on. Okay, so you can see that it's recovering, but we've had to buy a lot of fertilizer to make it work. And we've had to buy seed to bring it back. So I want those things covered by the city. I'm not looking for $1 million. I'm not really looking for any money. Basically, a letter of apology and maybe fix my grass or something. So then, look at this. See, my dad doesn't believe me, but I think it's clear. This guy just straight up died. I'm like, it looks like it's being poisoned. He's like, I just think I planted it wrong. It's in the ground. You don't think you can plant it wrong. You just put it in the ground. This guy was flourishing 4 or 5 days ago. Now this guy's dying. Damn it. And you say, well, it's summertime. They should be at full bloom. I know it falls off. Like, these are natural fall-offs, right? But if it's withering on the vine, literally, which is a saying in English we use for this exact situation. This guy's just so, fuck. So every time we water, sorry, I won't swear. I'll try not to swear. Every time we water the grass to try to make it grow, it obviously seeps and moves the sewage that's under here, and it starts to kill different plants. So we should be reimbursed for the plants. Give us some new plants, please. But I did this properly. I dug it out. I did it myself. This is my little garden, and that's my little apartment. This is my father's home. Okay? And, yeah, it's all good. So let's do it. Let's do a little bit more positive. So we got the sewage thing. That's pretty hard. Okay, that's huge, man. That's literally a biohazard. The plumber, who we can get you his stuff, said to me he's never seen anything like it ever. And he's like, I've been doing this for 12 years or 20 years or whatever it was. He was young enough, so maybe 12. And then I said, that's just when he was he took off the cap, and it was, full of everything. And he's like, I'm like, can you even speculate on what the issue might be? And he was just like, he was so flummoxed that he was like, the only thing I can think of is that they didn't put a pump in there. And I said, what? And he said, yeah. So he had to bail it. So they had to put on like proper, biohazard masks. And they used this to hand bail it because it was an emergency. because there's a child and a dog and a single mother in there just trying to get by in this expensive city that, through government negligence, but also the beauty and attraction of the place, has made it very difficult for people to afford to buy a house. I have a master's degree. I'm getting closer, but okay. Let's do one positive thing. So we got the solar. That's positive. I don't use any electricity except for my TV, and as soon as I figure out how to hook that up, So the cool thing, this is the positive thing. All this rock from the next door, we made a little rock garden. So we're trying to be as positive as possible. But then, okay, let's just go to the front for a minute. So we're doing pretty well. It's nice. I don't know if you can tell, but this was stripped. This was just gone. I can't remember why. Probably because of the construction of the fence or something. Or several people dig up things, but it goes all the way here. I'll get closer there. So I think it was for a pipe or something, because it's in a line. So that would make sense to me. And it goes all the way down the property line. So yeah, it's probably a drainage, because all of this on the left, the rock is for drainage, I believe. I'm not 100% on that. But the cool thing is you got a little flower there, and I'm going to gently move it to my garden because it's pretty beautiful. Anyways, so we had to resod that with the little garden where the vegetables were that I said I did. I took out the sod and just put it there. And I did the same over there. So I'm trying to reuse and reduce and recycle whenever I can. I'm a responsible capitalist consumer. Okay, same thing here. That's where the sod went. Okay, now look at this. Okay, I don't want to get too close. Okay, I don't know if you can see how many flies are here. So I'll just try to study it. Yeah, do you see that? Okay, so there's a lot of flies. There are also yellow jackets. Look at this guy. Whoa, see, I can't do it because I don't want to get stung. Okay, because that outhouse has been there for 20 months. And it hasn't even been used because nobody's been working on this thing. The city just came to do the sewers. Things are moving now. But the whole story of this house next to me is that the contractor, the original one, was negligent beyond belief. So they had to fire him in the end. I'll get to why in a minute when we go back to the back. And the couple buying it and building it, the wife was pregnant. She's very nice. It has nothing to do with them. They're just caught up in a bad situation. So she was pregnant with twins. So they just had to be like, dude, we just got to stop because we have to look after twins now because she gave birth and they're happy and healthy. So there's some kind of pipe that was dug here and it was not rebuilt by the city or by the contractors. And I don't know, this is fallow. I'm not sure why. Because there's a creek running under here. That's why we need all these water sumps, because it comes all the way from Langara and the top of Little Mountain. And look at the slope on this hill. Ontario 61st is a very big slope. Even if you go up to 60th, it flattens out. So, that's why you put a bike lane here, because it's easy to go down. And, yeah. Now, look, it's turning into a tip. A garbage. Look, this is last night. There's a Big Brother bin up there at where the old Sexsmith used to be. Okay? Where I went to elementary school, because I grew up here. So now people are just using it as a tip. And this is just, oh my God, all the stuff we've cleaned up, man. So I think this is the original. That's the original contracting company who probably need to be contacted. There's the information. Now we got whoever's doing it now. His name's Vic. He's good, so he deserves nothing because I've talked to him. Look, just garbage, gloves, a cone. Okay, another potential biohazard. And now this is fenced off to protect the tree from falling debris because it's city property. Guess how many rats live in there? Guess how much garbage is in there? I can see a bottle just with my bare eyes. Paint can top, whatever. So predators can't get in, but mice and stuff can. It's a perfect home for them. And yeah, there's tons of rats kicking around, man, because it's been 20 months. Try to control my anger as best I can. What is this? Acrylic finish coat just lying here forever. Okay? That's a biohazard, I'm pretty sure. Paint? What is this? Weather One exterior satin latex. Look at all the ants. Can you see them? But the ants are fine, but when you throw out your recycling, which I can no longer keep under my steps, the ants come unless you really thoroughly wash everything. Beer, sugar, juice, whatever, they'll come. And then the next step is in your house. That's like a super old paint can. Just fucking left there. And look, and everything that they consume food-wise gets put here. And people walk by with their food and they're just like, look at all this garbage, I'll just throw the garbage there. In front of my home, man. You know how much stuff I've cleared from this? And look at this line here. It doesn't really matter anymore because the city came and they did the sewers, as you can see. City of Vancouver. I don't know if, yeah, there it is. They were really cool. And I talked to those guys. So whoever that crew was, you should probably give them a raise. Look at this styrofoam. That never goes away. Why are we still using that, by the way? That should be illegal. We've known that for fucking since I was a kid. Sorry for swearing. Okay. Battery leaking acid into the ground. Okay? Various metals leaching whatever they're made of. Plastics leaching whatever they're made of. We're just coming to terms with the microparticles in plastic that are just like apparently the worst thing ever. You know, fish are dying for so many reasons. Okay, long story. This is a long story. It can't be short. So, okay, I did this myself because nobody's fucking doing anything. So you can see here from the groundwater that there's punctures in this pipe that runs to the water sump over there, right? So I'll just get closer so you can hear the water. Give you a break over my voice for a second. It's pretty gravelly at the moment. So I got some, see, there's bees here. It's perfect habitat for them. I don't want to get stung, but if I don't bother them, I won't. Because water and ground, fuck. Okay, so I got some Gorilla Tape and I just fixed it up myself because, as you can see, it still leaks, but it's good enough. I'm not joking you. For however long that sump's been in, and whenever the puncture started, months and months and months and months, maybe 10, I don't know, 15. It was like a little waterfall down here, which brought sediment and dirt and aesthetically unpleasing. And for people walking too. Just people walking on your city property. I'm just gonna take a deep breath. Okay. Walking on your sidewalk, city people, you know, so you got to step over this. And of course, people are going to be like, whatever, make a mistake or just step on it because they're like, fuck this hose. So it breaks. And then you get this, and that's the result. Okay? And then you got some there, so probably there's hornets coming around. And then it attracts mice and small rodents because they have a fresh source of water forever. And yes, they have food because many people around here are growing food because they can't afford to live. So I've cleaned up a lot single-handedly, okay? Mostly I focused on, look, you can just walk right into the site. That's against code. Surely. And the city guys moved all of this and they did their best to put it back. But there's obviously no coupling or something, and it's frankly not their job. So, but they did a nice job to, you know, at least put it sort of back. And I'll try to fix it, you know, in a minute. Because just, okay, that white house next to us, the neighbor's also named Andrew, and they have like a baby son. Yeah, like literal baby, and then a 2-year-old son. So, and then here is my Turkish neighbor who just left for Turkey like an hour ago, actually. And I just had this conversation with him. I'm like, man, this can't go on, man. It's gone on too long. It's summertime. I want to enjoy my backyard. So this fence is technically on his property line. Whoa. Fuck. There's so many bees and there's so many things to trip on. And I'm being careful because I've been around here a lot. I'm pretty sure there's a skunk living in there or something. That little root system has been there since I was a child. So certainly there's rats in there or something. I put these saw blades. Where's the camera? Oh, there it is. I put the saw blades here just to kind of keep them out of the way. I'll clean them up in a minute. So there's 3 saw blades. Rusty. Tetanus shot. for anyone who just wants to walk in here like a child to play. Okay, what else? Let's keep going. All right, I'll go around here. What do we got? Garbage, of course. Lots of garbage. Spray paint can. That's probably contained. There's just metal things. I don't know. See, I'm freaking out because there's so many bees. There's a lot of bees. Now, this fucking wood pile is really pissing me off. Super pissing me off. Because guess what? Yeah, it's on our property line. What about these 500-ton, 2 of them, slabs of concrete blocks that, yes, we had to put in on our property at our expense to protect the house during construction? Now it's on kind of both. And they're saying to us, oh, well, you guys put it there, so you have to move it. No way, man. Just for the inconvenience alone, you foot the bill on that. And don't damage our property when you move it. If you do, there will be consequences. Oops. So you can see how much this fence is on my property line. It's my dad's house. He's the owner, but I'm the heir with my sister. So, by extension, it's my house. And I'm a resident here. And I'm a citizen. And I pay my taxes. On time, in full. It's rusty too, man. That's probably why everything's leaching in here. And this stuff is not growing. I've seeded it and fertilized it. Now we got some kind of weird fungus that I'm not even sure what it is because I've never seen it grow. Because of all the fucking shit that's going on here. Oh, sorry. Okay, everything's pretty good down here. It's so manicured because I did it. You have no idea how many nails I found. Because they're... Is this a nail? Yeah, see, they look like twigs. Everywhere. On my property from this construction. See, I already thought I spent like an hour just combing it. I need seriously need a metal detector. So what, I gotta go buy a metal detector now so I don't step on a rusty nail? There's little bits of glass, of course, because it's a construction site. And we're getting a lot of wasps, so I don't want to just kill them with poison because there's so much literal poison everywhere already in the form of human waste because of the negligence of several people in a chain of negligence which turns into legal liability, certainly. So these things are supposed to keep hornets away because they're visual. Hi. That's my neighbor, and we'll get to her in a minute. Where was I? Right. So apparently, hornets and stuff are visual or something. So if they see a nest, this resembles a nest. It looks like a lantern. It doesn't work, by the way, because there's just too many. They're obvious. Wasps aren't stupid. They're there's obviously no wasps here. Okay, so then let's look at this. So my property line is where this scaffold is the property line, literally, as are these trees, right? So, because of gravity, this is encroaching clearly on our line. Okay, I've marked the line with that British flag. So you can see how much of it is coming on. Okay, and this is where the hornets go. That's why I put another one there. Because look, there's groundwater there. Can you see the hornet? There's so many hornet. Whoa. There's yellow jackets, the ones with little sticks on their butt or whatever. This is the main problem, the laneway house. This is why the construction was so slowed because of the ineptitude of the first contractor. Okay? Are you with me still? So what they did was they built the original, they had a foundation originally. But the architect or whoever's in control of whatever this is going on did not account for the pole there. So the parking space was in front of the pole. So there's virtually no parking space. So they had to scrap it, literally rip it up, bring heavy machinery down here, which damages, heavy machinery damages roads, right? So how about you guys pave my alley too? How about you just do that? I don't want any money. Just fix all the things that you've broken through negligence. And I talked to my friend who works for the city. He's an engineer in environmental heating systems. And he said, yeah, but the city has zero liability. I said, what do you mean? And he says, yeah, you sign forms that give the city zero legal liability. I said, okay, what about moral liability? You can't make me sign any paper legally because morals are just the whole way we could make a society. So you can keep your lawyers, man, and just, they're on retainer anyways, probably, for exactly things like this. And I don't want to sue because I don't think I could, because I'm not the owner, I don't think I have any legal grounds to sue. I don't know, I'm going to talk to a lawyer. So look at this giant, sorry, it's sunny, giant fucking spikes, man, all the way down the side. So what happens if a child is playing here because it's so easily accessible? As you see, it's not gated off. But the gates are right there. They're just simply too lazy to put them back because there's too much shit here to put the fucking gate. Sorry, because nobody is moving things. Like forever. And all this asphalt you see here is my neighbor's concern, and it's repaved by the people building this house because your city garbage trucks came over this. They go over this because your garbage trucks are too large for our alleys. Your alleys that you build, that our taxes build, right? So they got it repaved for free because these guys were repaving this because it was broken for whatever reason due to construction. So you got, how much does a garbage truck weigh? 20 tons? I don't know. A lot, I assume. And also she had an issue with them literally hitting this. Can you see here? That's the garbage truck clipping it, man. So somebody's probably got to look at that and see if the wires, they look like they're okay. But I don't know about these things, but I'm learning a lot. Because if these things break, they're tension-based, right? So it whips and it takes somebody's head off. Now you're talking about death negligence. Sorry, negligence causing death. And if that didn't even exist, then she said that that was actually okay because they would have broke the eave probably. And this cardboard is what I took. I cleaned this up today. Because it's a garbage fucking heap, man. And same, I put some in here because my neighbors are cool and I know them and I've got to know them because we need to come together to end this. Now there's a chair there, so people are just tipping things. The chair's not been disposed of because it's useful. You can sit on it. Why would you get rid of it? Why would you just throw it away? I mean, is it even broken? Oh, there's 2 flies having sex on there. It's true. No, there's nothing wrong with the chair. Maybe I'll keep it. This is the garbage that I cleaned up just today, and I've already done it for like the glaringly dangerous things like knives and broken glass. And there's a lot of broken Budweiser bottles, so I don't know if it's who's drinking. So that means vagrants are coming here and drinking at night while people sleep. I don't even go in there because it's walled off anyways. Yeah, there's spikes everywhere. So they haven't put up the fences to keep the children or anyone else out. Now, if I was homeless, I'd totally sleep under there. Wouldn't you? Look, you got the eaves, you even got the planks that's on the scaffolding. It's dry. You know? It'd be a good place to nap. And then you got just like rusty nails everywhere. Now, I think that's whatever. It's a construction site. Of course, there's going to be nails. But when they're rusted, you can't use them, so it's garbage. But you can get tetanus from them pretty easily. So then we got another giant wood pile. And then another one. And there's certainly rats living in here. So I had to go to Canadian Tire and buy some kind of, I think it was organic, because I probably wouldn't have bought it. Because there's too many chemicals around already, man. Anyways, it's supposed to keep them out. So I sprayed like the base of every pole where they'd like kind of hide and come in, hoping to keep them out. And I haven't seen any since, but that doesn't mean they're not around, right? And then there's more nails there that have not rusted yet because they were covered by the boxes that I cleaned up earlier. So maybe okay, what's the last? I'm almost done. Oh, no. Not almost done. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, yeah, no. There's got another 20 minutes on this thing. So, like, this is just an example of the tradesmen that work in this city. So we need better regulation. Look at this pipe, okay? That's great. Hey, pipes are good because the water goes down so that they don't flood your house. But you know what? It's got to be connected to the gutter. It is not. What is the purpose of this? Is that some sort of crazy city bylaw where you need like X amount of pipes, but it's not even connected? So what's the point? I didn't even notice that until the guy that was building this flower bed that should have been done before we even moved in here, but hasn't been done because of the negligence of our contractor, who simply doesn't get around to ever helping us. Calls, emails, we got a lot of evidence. We got a lot. Buddy was really nice. He's a subcontractor. He's like, he has nothing to do with me. I'm like, I know you, man. You're cool, man. And we talked. So through communication, you find out what's actually going on. And even though, he probably got busy, but he said that he would be back today for the soil. And that should have been yesterday because I talked to him 2 days ago. And there's another thing. What is it now? What have I been doing this for? 30 minutes? What did I say? It was 2:15, so it's 2:45 now. And our garbage still hasn't been picked up. Because I believe you gave it to private enterprise. I'm not certain about that, but I'm pretty certain about that. Because this says City of Vancouver, and that shit's been picked up like at 7 a.m. Because at least that's good. And then another thing. This sewer doesn't work, man. It obviously works, but just the way everything's sloping away from it. So the water just goes by it. You can see the sand here. There's a mini alluvial plain, okay, of sediment. It's the same concept as a river, right? So when a river meets a delta, you have an alluvial plain where all the sediment comes out. And delta, the city of, is probably based on one of those. I'm not certain. So the water doesn't go in here, so it runs down and it brings all of the rocks that you can see everywhere here. And it just makes it aesthetically unpleasing. And then when the water goes, it'll go all the way down that hill because there's no sewer. And it, for some reason, it won't even come around the bend here because of the lack of paving here and the correct paving. So water always takes the least passive resistance, and that's here, where this garbage can is, that comes here, and you can see all the rocks that it carries, and it does go this way too, and then it also goes that way depending on how much water you have. Okay, now look at this. This is my neighbor Andrew with the 2 small children. You can see toys and stuff. He's doing his best to grow some food for his family. He's beautified his home in breakneck speed. He's got a good job, obviously. So this is actually Telus and Shaw. But guess what? I talked to Andrew and he's like, the city came and ripped it up. And then I talked to those city workers I mentioned earlier and they're like, this isn't the city. And I was like, oh yeah, dude. So for the convenience of the neighborhood, including our homes, we have Shaw and Telus giant culverins here, which would be okay. And it is is this city land? See, I don't know about this. You'd have to ask Andrew. But I assume this is probably city land because there's trees here. Yeah, it must be. But you get special dispensation for things. So you got a lot of good rules, but it seems like there's kind of too many. Because if there's too much, if you make a good policy, yeah, you can build a path there, because of course it's your home, even though it's city land, yeah. Because what do you care, right? And that's basically the idea, right? But then you pile some more legislation on top of that. So for every piece of legislation that's applicable to the first piece of legislation, you start to grow a hierarchy of legislation, and then the first one that you put in, even somewhat, becomes skewed, right? For example, if the city came back for any reason, like to dig up a pipe, they might have to destroy that and then not be responsible for putting it back, and you'd have to pay for it again, I'd assume. Because it seems like you guys don't want to pay for that much. I know you got a city to run, but we got a life to live, right? Children, man. It's pretty much all about them. I'm fine. I'm doing well. Right, so they seeded it, as you can see. And then they're just like, yeah, that's it. It's like, what? This was like a couple months ago, man. And they haven't come back. And I talked to Andrew, and the reason I thought it was the city at first is because they look like they're the city. They look exactly the same. They bring in subcontractors with like city-looking equipment, diggers and the such. You know, they wear overalls, and you know, we're just not cognizant. Oh, here comes the garbage truck. Okay, well that's fine. So forget about that comment. Although, I mean, couldn't they? I don't know. Whatever. I'll let that one go. There's plenty of stuff to hold on to here. So I just haven't seen him, so I haven't been able to tell him yet. And I mean, look at that. That's like a pretty big truck. That's like a 5-ton truck or something going up my alley. This hasn't been repaved since I was a child. I don't think any. When's the last repaving on this? Please find that out for me. So I also cleaned up all this stuff. This used to be pristine, but the rocks just keep coming because now for the very last thing, and there was, oh my God, like Stanley knife workman razor blades just thrown here. And they camouflage. And her little girl goes around in no shoes, and I said, you got to stop that because there's stuff you can't even see. And I had to comb all of this, which I have no idea if the nails and all of the stuff I found from here is from constructing this or for constructing this. Because construction has been going on for so long, there's no way to really tell. I think the solution is probably both. Now, the final thing in this, it's not a rant, it's just informational. So don't take it the wrong way. Because I put up with a lot of garbage, man. Okay, the last thing is this. And then I'm going to go watch the Canadiens baseball at Nat Daily and have a hot dog and several beers. All right. So then you got water here. Oh, this is a long story, so I'm going to just make it really short. Our contractors, there's some problem with the switch. I think it's not the contractor's fault, actually. It's our just not knowing that much about pumps and stuff. My dad was a chemical engineer. He's retired now. So he knows a lot about stuff, and he's been teaching me about water pressure and all these kind of things. You know, you're aware of it, but you don't really understand how it works. Long story short, everything fails. It starts filling up. It was Sunday, Father's Day. It was sunny. My buddy owns a plumbing company, but he was on a plane back from Montreal, which I didn't know he was on a plane, but I knew he was in Montreal. I couldn't get anybody at his office. Anyways, whatever. It's not his fault. So I know a lot about pumps now. So I ran to Canadian Tire, who are absolute heroes. And I'm just like, I got an emergency. My house is flooding. Because the first thing to flood, guess where? My basement with all my things. So I was protecting my home. We grafted for 17 hours. It started just before the half